Hey Brandon, thank you very much for this story. I did want to give some outlines to you for changing your writing style a little bit in stories like this. So let me just run through this. I hope these will help you create pieces that are a little bit more what we need. So okay, so first of all, the most important thing in reading this is for me is that this is not filled with any news. And it's filled with exactly what we thought it would be filled with. And that is to say, the headline is Long-Standing Association Celebrates 110 Years. And whereas that's true, it's really, really boring. Then down here, this is kind of the setup, so I get it. But then the guy says, I'm honored to be president. This is all in our sleep. We know this already. This is what everyone has to say. It's like, good morning, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? Great, thank you. Nice weather. Yeah, nice weather. No one wants to read this. So, so this is a problem. What I'm looking for as I read this, I mean, in my mind as I read it, it's like the headline is not newsworthy. There's nothing new about it that makes it that readable, and this is all pretty standard too. So what I'm going to recommend is that you take a look at what the information you've got and look for something that's exciting and new and different. So I'm looking through here. This is somewhat interesting. Using technology. Okay, sort of interesting. Says there aren't any noticeable trends. Okay, that's kind of a cop-out. There's always some trend. This is really, I think, a cop-out on his part. But anyway, that's what he said, so we got to go with it. Passing appeals because of its unique character. I've heard this, I'm sure you have too, all your life, so that's not news. Then this, we already know about all this stuff. Realtors do well. Okay, that's kind of interesting. It's not enough for the headline. Shortage. Okay, now here we go. This might actually be somewhat, a little bit newsworthy, although we kind of know about it already. But he's complaining about shortage of good real estate. So that's actually somewhat newsworthy because it's just different. Okay, down here, despite the novels. Okay, so this I don't get totally. It's performing well because of these projects? Really? These projects are far from being built. Are these really having an impact? If these two facilities are genuinely having an impact in Pasadena now, because they're not even built. The Kaiser Permanente won't be built for years, and the Shriners Hospital is like another 6 months at least. So I'm not sure if he actually said that the market is performing well due mostly to these two things. So let me confirm that with you, first of all, because he's quoted here. He's not quoted, but he is paraphrased as having said the market is performing well due mostly to these two things. Let's confirm that that's what he said. And then this is kind of an interesting statement. I think these two developments will bring a lot of new buyers and new people. That actually is good enough to make your lead. Incoming president of PAFAR points to two major developments as boons to real estate. So that's good. But you see what I'm saying is that's only a small part of the story. We would need to really blow it up and focus on it. Okay, what else do we have here? And that's actually a pretty good phrase. I've never heard that before. Although I think Rovers is a capital R. Profar. Okay, so, all right, so here's the thing. My problem with this story is that there's nothing in here that people would want to read except this, perhaps there's the shortage issue and these two projects as driving real estate sales. So the real problem here is what we don't need is we don't need this is almost a, how should I say it, a standard regular Group A is having their inauguration on Friday. This is This follows that format perfectly, but no one's going to read it because there's no news in it. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to take a hard look at this and listen to the interview and think about this and maybe even call this guy back. But I think what we want to have is more of a story of incoming president identifies 2 new projects as driving Pasadena real estate in 2017. That might, if he really meant it, because this is really startling. I can't imagine. We have all these projects. It seems funny that he's focusing on those 2, but maybe he knows a lot that we don't know. Okay, so that's good. Another choice is to really drill down on this shortage business and just say to him, tell me more about the shortage. When you say it's a problem, we'll always have why. You have like 1,000 realtors. Are there too many realtors for the properties being sold? Excuse me. Or is most of the sales being done by a very small group of people? The real trick here is you're trying to get him to say something that's actually interesting. And this guy may not be capable. But I really think this story needs to be rewritten. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want to include this stuff. I want to be very clear. You do want to include this stuff, but you want it at the very bottom, and you want the sexy part up at the top. And you may need to get more information relative to the sexy part because all we have is like 2 sentences here on it. So let's talk this over. I think this is a great start, but we need to find the news. All this stuff here you've got is great, but we need a hook and we need news. We need something interesting, different, startling, insightful, newsworthy to start the story off with and to carry this story for 3, 4 paragraphs, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, and then you can do the rest of the stuff about having the meeting. Thank you.